The folks over at Bleacher Report went absolutely wild today as they broke down 3 different Raptors trade proposals in one single article. So we'll break down all those as lots of Raptors fans are chatting about that, as well as Christian Koloko getting sent down to the G League and the Raptors GOAT, Kyle Lowry. We have a trade update regarding him. So lots of stuff to discuss in this video. Without further ado, let's jump into the first topic of discussion. The first thing we're taking a look at is 3 wild Bleacher Report trades for the Toronto Raptors. Now, the Raptors have had a tumultuous season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This has just been a rough year on Toronto fans. Canadian fans are rooting for those Toronto Raptors. And we're at a point now where it seems like a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon to, a lot of people were on the bandwagon about the Raptors and need to make a move, but given our recent losses, especially that ugly one to the Minnesota Timberwolves without Cat, without Rudy Gobert, being up 18 at one point in that game, right? Somehow fumbling that win, right? We're at a point now where a lot of Raptors fans want to see some big moves made at this year's trade deadline. And the folks over at Bleacher Report, they see that as content. They see a bunch of angry Toronto Raptors fans, YouTubers included, and they say, let's cook up some wild trades. And the folks over at Bleacher Report, they were going wild on this trade machine yesterday, coming up with 3 different trade proposals for the Toronto Raptors. So let's just react to them. Let's see what they had cooking up over there at Bleacher Report. And the first one is an interesting one. So it involves OG Anunoby going to the Memphis Grizzlies to play alongside Ja Morant, and the Raptors receive former NBA champion, or former Toronto Raptor, NBA champion with the Toronto Raptors, Danny Green. But on top of it, we also received 3 first-round picks and David Roddy. Now, this one is interesting because you look at the picks, and they're picks that aren't projected to have that much sort of value out there in the coming seasons. I mean, 2 Golden State Warriors picks, 2 Memphis Grizzlies picks, 1 Golden State Warriors pick. Those are 2 teams that are projected to be very good over the next 2 to 3 seasons, right? The Warriors just won the NBA championship, and the Grizzlies are one of the top seeds in the Western Conference. So those picks would sort of be late first rounders. And for OG Anunoby, 3 first-round picks, your head turns and you say, Ben, why would you turn down 3 first-round picks for OG? Well, there's no real potential in those picks. Sure, that would be a cool return for a lesser player, but for OG Anunoby, yes, 3 first-round picks would be cool, but you'd want some lottery potential. You want a chance that those picks could get you something nice in the NBA draft, not just sort of late first-round talent. So that trade doesn't excite me that much, right? If we're going to be trading OG Anunoby, I want some valuable assets back. Doug Smith discussed 2 valuable, current rotation players on solid contracts plus draft capital, right? That was his prediction. Some people were saying the 3 first-round picks, and again, that's what they got for DeJounte Murray. The Cavs, those picks had a little bit more potential than the Grizzlies and the Warriors, even though that probably isn't the case, given how good the Cavs have been as of late. But I don't know. That's 3 first-round picks. Some people might call me crazy, but I'm not jumping at that trade from the Memphis Grizzlies. Even it would be cool to see Ja Morant, OG Anunoby. I'm a fan of that Memphis Grizzlies team, so taking my fandom of the Toronto Raptors out of it would be cool for OG to be playing on Memphis, but not at the expense of the Toronto Raptors. Taking some L's on a deal. But the next one, I'm just giving a golden kazoo out straight away, right off to start before I even show it up, because it is an ugly one. It is an ugly one. This one, the Mavericks receive Pascal Siakam, Robin Lopez, and Delano Banton, while the Cleveland Cavaliers receive Tim Hardaway Jr. and the Bo Cruz, the Cruz Missile, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, and the Toronto Raptors receive Kevin Love's big contract, Christian Wood, who's a free agent this summer, Josh Green, who is a nice player, but again, a random prospect, and then not a first-round pick, a second-round pick from the Cleveland Cavaliers, a 2025 first-round pick, and a 2027 first-round pick. So, sure, future Dallas Mavericks picks might be interesting, right? They might be intriguing. They might be encouraging. But for a guy at the level of Pascal Siakam, are we really trying to wait till 2027? Are we really trying to wait till, what could happen between now and 20? From the next 4 years to really get our actual return on Pascal Siakam? No way, Jose. Christian Wood could potentially leave, right? If we're giving away Pascal Siakam, we're in a rebuilding mode. Kevin Love wouldn't help a rebuild. Christian Wood wouldn't help a rebuild. I want a bunch of very valuable, very juicy first-round picks if we're giving away Pascal Siakam. The only way I'm dealing that is if we get a team like the Pelicans to give up their Lakers picks, their Bucks picks, their Pelicans picks. Pascal Siakam going down there along with some young players, not Christian Wood and Kevin Love and these, borderline fringe players, right? I want some proper draft capital coming back to the Raptors, proper players coming back to the Toronto Raptors if we trade away Pascal Siakam. On top of it, we're also giving up Delano Banton, who I'm just not high on selling, as like a throw-in piece at this point. So, ugly trade there from Bleacher Report. But the final one that they have is sort of a win-now move for the Toronto Raptors with a familiar name. He's in the thumbnail of this video. But the Raptors receive Miles Turner, and in return, the Pacers receive Chris Boucher, Delano Banton, Christian Koloko, and a 2023 lottery-protected first-round pick. Now, this one, I feel like this would be a very polarizing trade for Raptors fans because you're giving up a lot of potential there in Delano Banton and Christian Koloko, right? You are giving up two very potentially valuable prospects in the future, right? Koloko has shown flashes of greatness for the Raptors this season. We'll discuss him in the G League video. Delano Banton has been amazing in his stints with the G League, has been amazing for stretches with the Toronto Raptors main roster. He's a long, wiry, tall point guard that can pass. That in theory, he's improving as a shooter, right? Hasn't put it all together yet, but again, two potential prospects for the Raptors. And then you're also dealing away a first that, could potentially be valuable given the lottery protection, right? Maybe we get Miles Turner, we rest him for the season, we get Victor Wembanyama, whatever you want to go with. But, I don't know if that really moves the needle for the Toronto Raptors at this point. So, I don't know. And giving up Christian Koloko this early, I feel like could be a noob move, right? Those centers take a little bit of time to develop. Delano Banton's going to take a little bit of time to develop. I don't know if I'm doing that for like a win now play as a 12th seed in the Eastern Conference, but let me know what you guys think about all those trades. Bleacher Report always has those polarizing deals, so I want to see what you guys have to say about those. But the next thing we're discussing in this video is Christian Koloko sent down to the G League, and we were just talking about Koloko and in that Miles Turner package, but news has come out surrounding the Raptors big man as, according to Vivek Jacob, Christian Koloko has received his first Toronto Raptors 905 assignment, which is pretty wild, given the fact that he's a second-round pick, raw coming into the league, right? A guy that we knew would be a bit of a development project. He's been that good for the Toronto Raptors at this point in the season is his first time getting some run, getting a stint with the Raptors 905, which I think is great because he's been getting a couple DNPs as of late in games, which I didn't really think made sense given he has been productive. He fits a position of need for the Toronto Raptors and all that sort of stuff. But if he's going to be getting 0 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes a night for the big roster, only makes sense to throw him down with the 905 and let him grow his game, grow his confidence, and be able to work on his stuff down in the G League. So I think this is a huge positive for the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, we've seen guys like Pascal, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, Chris Boucher, other names, DeLon Wright, Delano Banton. A lot of Toronto Raptors have made their way through the Raptors 905 and up to the main roster. So, Christian Koloko is hopefully another name on that list that will end up being a success story, a success development project for the Toronto Raptors. So, hopefully we see some growth for Koloko down the G League. And if we end up tanking, bring him back to the main roster and let him run with the big boys. But the next thing we're taking a look at is Kyle Lowry trade update. And he broke down on a recent video about how Kyle Lowry, he was potentially on the block for the Miami Heat, but Miami's really turned their season around. They've been impressive as of late, and a new report has come out basically saying that Miami is not trying to deal away Kyle Lowry. With the Heat playing a lot better, 13 wins of their past 19 games, any thought of Miami breaking up its roster has gone from not totally inconceivable to unlikely. So, while the Heat have struggled and they are still trying to ship away guys like Duncan Robinson, they think they can get some value back for Caleb Martin, right? Kyle Lowry doesn't seem like a guy that's going to be on the move for the Miami Heat. Not directly Raptors related, but anything Kyle Lowry related is Raptors related. And a lot of Raptors fans said if we're going to blow it up, may as well just bring back the Raptors GOAT and Kyle Lowry, let him run with the young dogs, mentor the group, mentor the squad. So, it's unlikely a deal like that will happen, especially where Miami is sort of resurged there in the Eastern Conference. But, if Kyle Lowry were to get traded, where would you like to see him go? Or do you want to see him stay down with the Miami Heat? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But the final thing we're discussing in this video is an ugly stat for the Toronto Raptors. And a stat that, is going to be favored by a lot of the Toronto Raptors tank fans. It's coming from Josh Lewinberg. I just wanted to throw it out there regarding this Raptors game we had last night, or the last couple of performances. But basically, if you look at the stats, we got this. I'm pressing the wrong button, so I don't even know what I'm doing here at this point. But over the last 3 days, the Raptors faced the Milwaukee Bucks and Minnesota Timberwolves without Giannis, Chris Middleton, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. They gave up 260 points, averaging 129 points per game, 52% field goal shooting, 46% from behind the three-point line, and lost both games. Ugly stat there. Ugly stat there for the Toronto Raptors. And for people that didn't tune in to the live stream last night, I brought back the old tanky animation, and I had to cook up a new one. But it's not looking too hot there for the Raptors here at this point. So, if you guys are feeling the Toronto Raptors making a deal, making some moves, switching something up, definitely check out the CoolBet app. They're a sportsbook regulated in Ontario. They're available all across Canada. If you use our link down below, you sign up, you'll be able to make bets on the Toronto Raptors, any NBA game, really, any sport in general, and get some custom odds in terms of Raptors players potentially getting traded. As you can see, plus or minus 189 for Gary Trent Jr. to stay with the Raptors, minus 300 for Pascal to stay with the Raptors. The OG Anunoby one, 175, right, minus there for him to stay. The Knicks, the Dallas Mavericks, wherever you think these guys are gonna go, right? You can keep that there. Honestly, I'd be hitting that Pascal Siakam one. I don't think there's a world where Pascal Siakam ends up getting traded, even though you never really know, and that's why the odds are out there. But, if you're interested in betting on any sort of things like that, definitely check out the CoolBet app. But, folks, you guys are the best for making this far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, right? We're almost at 28,000 subscribers, so I appreciate everyone that's hitting that sub button, checking out the CoolBet app, and supporting the podcast. Helps us out big time. But you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.